friends. Welcome to a Dawn Agreement, a D&D5E actual play, the Book of Zintrana, Chapter 3. But first, real quick, a couple of announcements. Number one, well, actually, it's just one announcement. I don't think I've done a good job of explaining how the military and law enforcement of the Oricasian Empire works, and there has been some confusion. So I want to lay it out here because it's very important to both Zintrana's story and also to Rorvin's story, how these work. So militaries are run by individual nobles, and the nobles who run the armies tend to want a certain type of individual. They want people with magic or people that have the kind of mindset that would allow them to kill on command and easily obey orders. People who join their organizations that don't match that tend to get traded like any major sports team to nobles whose job is enforcing local police work. So there's a distinction between law enforcement and the military, and the law enforcement tends to get the people who maybe are somewhat not as good at being military. As a result, it gets a reputation that it isn't as good, like it's somehow second class, even though obviously the job of the military and the job of the people who protect the populace locally is very different. And in general, the military sees itself as being one step above. So, for instance, a guardsman in, a noble's army would believe themselves to be a slightly higher rank than a guardsman of someone who is in law enforcement. The other thing to note is that there's only 4 ranks, and that is guardsman, sergeant, although sergeant can also be a sergeant investigator, whether it's investigating military crime or local crime, a lieutenant, and then a captain. And a captain is typically going to be the highest ranking noble, as in, what would we call them in the Middle Ages? Great captains, something like that. Basically generals. All right, now that that's out of the way, Zintrana, as you and Sergeant Farless are making your way through the streets in the night of your particular chosen city of, oh my goodness, I'm losing it, Stormwall, you feel your traveler's coin, wherever you have left it, start to glow warmly.
Okay, I pull it out, shake it, trying to work out how to use it.
A sack of gold falls out of the coin. This materializes. Looks like it's got about 100 gold pieces in it.
All right, I quickly look for somewhere to stash such a large amount of wealth.
I mean, you could tie it to your belt, or I don't know if you have a backpack or a bag of any kind.
I do have a backpack. It's fine.
Sure, hook it up to that. Yeah, so if you got the gold, what did everybody else get? That's the real question.
How does Farless react to this?
Farless is just like, I suppose that's practitioner magic then. Sacks of gold just come falling out of that thing whenever you need it. You were saying you needed money earlier. I think I just fucked Farless up. What the? He's become another character. Give me a sec. You keep going though.
This is my first time receiving some supplies from the agreement through the coin, so I guess yes. I hope I don't never need anything larger.
Right. Well, we're almost here. So, in traditional media, wizards are strongly associated with towers. I mean, Dragon Age is a literal tower. And in other media, you get like that weird wizard's tower where it goes in all sorts of different directions. The wizard's tower of Stormwall is not it's 1 story tall, so it's not technically a tower. It's more like a traditional college with several buildings, 7 in fact buildings, And of course, dorms built on the side, a quad, a green, some sort of sports area where they're playing something like Quidditch, but you know, Quidditch is actually incredibly brutal. I mean, what sort of 14-year-old would have to go up against something that would crack their skull? Quidditch is an insane game. This is much better. This is much better. But off one of the dorms, you notice that there is a fraternity that you are being led directly toward. Pi Kappa Pi. And there is a wizard's house party going on right now. Now, some of you might be thinking, come on, Arthur. This Orcasian Emperor's supposed to be like, you know, pre-Renaissance Greek, right? Well, let me tell you something. Even the Romans had people pissing on walls and writing, I fucked your mother in the graffiti. So this is not new behavior. Oh, you haven't heard of that one, James? You haven't heard of that one? People carved it into the cement and concrete of the streets of Rome. It's incredible. Humans have always been like this.
That's one of my favorite bits of graffiti is where someone writes in a toilet stall wall, I fucked your mother, and then below that someone writes, Dad, you're drunk, go home.
I've never seen that particular combination, but that's pretty good. So, as you're approaching, I want you to imagine drunk wizards evoking. I'm talking prestidigitation. I'm talking every once in a while you get like a beam of frost to chill somebody's glass. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, dude, amazing. Oh, it's so much better cold, bro. Thanks so much. That's that sort of deal. As Farless approaches, you know, he warned you that you probably wouldn't enjoy it here. And you notice that almost all of the wizards here are wearing guardsman or sergeant badges of not the local town guard, but of a military. Now, it's like different nobles for many of these, like pairs, trios, sure, but everybody belongs to a different army, essentially. All of the wizards seem to have been conscripted at some point. And just one of them seems to be treating this as a sort of military facility, as it's definitely someone who belongs to this fraternity, but is standing waiting for Farless and salutes as he approaches and takes Farless inside, and Farless gestures for you to follow. The two of them enter into a room where there are some low flickering candles, the smell of incense and brimstone, and there are 3 dead guardsmen who have been ritually sacrificed they're in like a triangle formation inside a circle of their own blood, and there is the symbol of Jubilex in the middle of the 3 of them. And like someone outside who walks up to this room is like, oh man, what a great prank, bro. Amazing layout, dude. And he slaps the one wizard guardsman who was waiting here. He's like, damn, man. Oh, please, excuse me, my lady. And this wizard who's approached you goes to like grab your hand and kiss it. You tell me what you're doing from here on out. The cinematic is over.
Yeah, so probably Zin's first reaction is well, it's nothing. It's just to sort of be pulled along while trying to understand what's going on here. So she probably doesn't resist having her hand kissed, but then probably still looks back to the wizard that brought us in here and says, should we be like securing this scene?
I have secured the scene, my lady. I apologize. No one else here took this seriously. This is clearly a magical ritual, but everyone here is so drunk and intent on partying. And he gestures to the guy who just kissed your hand. He's like, yeah, bro, sweep. Oh, shit. Oh, man, we're going to be in so much trouble. And he puts his drink down and starts backing away slowly, trying to disappear into the crowd. The smell from this room is slowly leaking out. And, you know, like as it hits people's noses, they're all like, oh, magical smell. Uh-oh.
Yeah. I'm not sure. Do we have some? Is this a room then, or is it like what? Or an
Yeah,
open
so
area?
it looks like it's some sort of room that the wizards would use to practice magic inside. You know what I mean? Like, it is specifically like the walls are lined with lead to prevent anything from going out. The floors have like ritual circle markings so that if you need to like sit down and perform a ritual, you can sit perfectly inside this nice place that has like, you know, it's not a general ritualized circle for anybody. It's like, follow these instructions, draw the chalk line along this area and these indentations, and you will complete a ritual circle, that sort of thing. It's like a beginner's magic room.
Can we like close the door to lock people out, or?
Yes. Oh, yeah, certainly.
All right.
So inside, I'm guessing, is you, Farless, and the guardsman wizard who reported this, then?
Yes.
All right. Chaz is on the outside doing his best to come up with a cover story about how he wasn't at the party tonight.
So yeah, I'll ask the guardsman. Sorry, did you have a name that I should call you?
Teo, ma'am.
Oh, thank you.
Can I ask what your affiliation is?
Yes, I'm with the Dawn Agreement here, helping out with.
Farless just says, "She's with me, guardsman." He's like, "Understood." That's me laughing, not him.
No worries. What can you tell us about? I mean, other than what we can see, how did you find this?
Well, the rest of my fraternity was indulging themselves tonight. I was opening myself to the flow of magic in the local area, and I sensed a disturbance within the house. I came downstairs about 2 hours ago and found this. I reported it to the local guard, who didn't take me seriously, so I passed it up the chain to my superior. I don't know what happened from there, but I decided I would watch over this room and make sure no one disturbed the scene. This isn't really what I do, but I just wanted to make sure nobody got drunk and peed in here.
Do we know who the dead men are?
I do not recognize them, ma'am. Just with a quick observation, and with us standing here, they appear to be members of my unit, however. They belong to my particular army. They are all sergeant practitioners. Eldritch Knights, I believe. Based on
Would they normally be stationed here actually at the college?
No. I believe the rest of my army is bivouacked outside of Stormwall, waiting for permission to enter.
All right, let me take a look at the scene.
Make an investigation check.
Yes, I was afraid you'd say that.
Yeah, what do you think? Well, let me ask you, how do you want to approach the scene? And maybe it'll be a different skill use, you know what I mean?
Oh, no, look, it's definitely investigation. Like, I sort of have my questions, but like, I understand how it works. I'll make the roll, then I'll ask the questions.
Yeah. Listen, sometimes you've asked questions that are outside the purview of your role, and I answered them anyway because they were great questions.
Yeah. All right, see, first roll of the day.
Oh, what were you worried about? What were you worried about? All right, listen, just ask whatever questions you want, and if I think anything extra is relevant, I'll let you know.
Okay, so first off, does it look like they were killed here? Like just in terms of like
absolutely.
So they were alive and they came in here and died here.
And they were killed using the ritual nature of this room to complete one of the ritual circles here, which has then been perverted.
Okay. Is there any indication that they were physically brought here against their will, like struggle marks, ligature, anything like that?
That's a great question. Yes, all of them have some sort of mark around their throats that indicate that they were choked.
Okay. Yeah, ligature. Okay. And is the nature of the ritual here the same as the one from the?
If anything, this is more advanced. And actually, make an Arcana check real quick to see what you get magically out of this particular ritual.
Okay. I'm due for a bad roll. I got a good roll, bad roll. That's it. There we go. So it's my 5.
Yeah. This ritual is surprisingly absent of magic right now. whatever went into it is already gone.
Okay, no worries. So previously there were things like symbols carved into the bodies as well. Is it similar here?
There are none visible, but they still have their clothes and armor on, all of their equipment.
Okay. All right. I'll check to see if they also been robbed as well, like if their purse has been cleared out, or was it just literally bought here for the ritual purposes?
When you check them for stuff, they have all of the things that you would assume that a guardsman would have: spell component pouch, a small amount of money. Two of them have a belt of keys. One of them just has a single key in his pocket. I mean, what else would someone carry at random? They have everything you would expect someone to go out into the world with on just a regular night.
Okay. And once again, looking potentially with medicine about how long they've been dead for, how long this might have, and trying to understand once again, is there some sort of strange effect that's prevented decay like there was with the last one?
Absolutely. Please make that medicine check.
No worries. 11, it's not a great one. But
they have not been dead long. Less than 3 hours. It's hard to tell what the cause of death was, actually, between the strangling and, it definitely feels like something magical happened, even if all the magic's gone.
Okay. I mean, the blood that's been used to draw the symbols on the ground and around them, it's their own blood, yeah.
It's been drained from their bodies, yes.
Okay. I mean, I don't know. I probably not with that role. I couldn't tell where the blood was drained. Well, it's hard to drain blood post-mortem, but
I mean, that they were unconscious at one point, but not dead yet.
Yeah. Okay. I'll turn to Farless. Is it worth us reaching out to Cat Rothford? This investigation is tied to what happened at the Rusty Knocker.
You believe that they bear the same cause, then?
Well, there's definitely a lot of similarity. Well, these men have not been mutilated like the ones in the tavern were, but the nature of the ritual is similar. There's still the references to Jubilex here. If we're dealing with a cult, it could be different practitioners of the same cult.
A cult, you say? This is bad news indeed.
These men were throttled and brought here, so trying to track down the actions leading up to the disappearance might help us identify where someone might have encountered them, and potentially the town guard is better suited to such an investigation. I don't have a lot of authority to walk around and start throwing questions out at people.
So while you've been investigating, Guardsman Practitioner Teo has also been investigating. He gestures for Farless to join him to the side, and Farless says, I think you're going to need to repeat that. And Teo says, yes. I'm sorry. What was your name again, my lady?
Just Zin is fine.
Zin. These men, their magic has been drained from them and placed into something. I can feel it having been drained from them. I've never seen anything like this before. And I served for the Drought War. I may not yet have graduated as an upper rank wizard, but I know death when I see it. They were alive when this happened, and then were killed afterwards.
Who's the authority at this college? Is there a dean or some educational body?
Each of the wings of the college is run by a different noble wizard. They're all very... You know that arcane magic is split into several different schools, yes? Each of them is a master of their particular school of magic. They take the school thing rather literally around here.
And so this college we're now sort of indicate around the room. This is
The College of Evocation.
Evocation?
Yes. Technically, this isn't on the college grounds. We're a duly sworn fraternity to the College of Evocation.
I mean, other than the party outside, is there anybody that might have seen 3 men being brought here against their will?
That is what truly vexes me, Zin. This room is, you would have to go past dozens of wizards, some of whom are like me with military training. It would have been very difficult to drag 3 unconscious men past us, especially ones who aren't wizards who clearly don't belong here.
Okay, so if we can work out where they were and try and work out how they got here, see what might have been seen. Unless there's, I mean, if you're going back to the Rusty Knocker, Parlous, there was that sort of secret room. I don't know whether or not there might be hidden ways through this college. Yeah.
Do it.
Hey, if I was a second ed elf, I could pass by. I could detect secret doors just by passing by them.
Well, you know how it is. You just have to speak the password. Melnock. Yes, there is a secret passageway in this particular room. It is set into the floor, right on the massive tile that currently has the symbol of Jubilix on it. It looks like there is some sort of floor hidden mechanism that if you step on the right arcane symbol, it will pop that area up and over, and then you'd have to push the tile back in and down. Sorry, over and in.
Okay. So I'll start trying to, prod the ground with my toe, looking to work out how to actually activate that.
All right, you touch the symbol of transmutation, and the Jubilixian symbol moves. As it does, of course, it, messes with some of the blood trail. But now that you're looking closely, this blood trail right here next to the Jubilixian symbol has already, someone has already done this since they died.
Okay, check it out.
There is a underground tunnel that runs underneath of Eternity.
Well,
Tail
I'll
is
look
just
to
like,
Silas.
what? This isn't supposed to be here.
Sergeant Varlas and I, we should explore. Can you keep this scene secure, Teo?
He looks to Farless, and Farless nods. He says, of course.
Farless, I can see well enough in the dark, but do you have a torch or something similar you can use?
He does pull out a torch, and Teo and the torch lights. So Farless is getting out some flint to do. He's like, thank you, guardsman. Thank you, guardsman. There we go. There's Farless. I remember where he's at now. Yeah.
Can I tell you a very quick side D&D story?
Please do.
For my D&D game I was running last week, all of my characters in the game have dark vision, so they don't ever bother with lights. And because in dark vision you only see in black and white, so they came into an encounter with a slime, which I described as a grey ooze. So they completely prepared for all the resistances and abilities of a grey ooze, only to start fighting and find out it was actually an ochre jelly. And the first thing happened when they cut it, it was split into 2.
Incredible,
because they couldn't see the color.
Incredible. You sound like a great 2E D&D game master right there. You got him. You got him with that old school tricks.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. All right. So Farless, it doesn't take far. It's less than 30 feet, but it comes up again, out of the ground, and seems to be a sort of thing that when you press something, it'll pop the door out and sideways, built into the side of the wizard sport storage locker. So it's like a hidden wall inside of that storage locker. When you come up, you see all sorts of brooms of flying and rugs of flying and spell balls and stuff like that.
So this is just a singular passage, not a network of tunnels.
Correct. It's just out to here.
Okay.
Farless picks up a knife ball and then tosses it and tries to see if he can catch it without the knife stabbing him. That's right. I'm bringing knife ball back. Only 10 people are going to get that reference, but it's okay.
Does he succeed though?
I will roll a die to check out whether he succeeds or not. The man is okay at dexterity. No, he gets stabbed in the hand for about 5 damage. So the ball comes down and the knife. So just explain what knife balls are. It's a pressure sensitive ball that whenever it's bounced, the knife will appear in a random location on the knife and out. And it basically stabs him in the hand. He's just like, ah! Starts bandaging it up.
Here, show me your hand.
Yeah, he shows you his hand.
All right.
Why am I rolling a Zazit? I never understand what I'm doing in this game. Oh, it's because I have him selected. That's what it is. All right, there we go. How do I unselect him?
There you go. I heal him for...
Oh, nice.
13.
All right, yeah, he feels even better than he was before. He's just like, wow, amazing. Thank you so much. I am sorry to have troubled you with this particular problem.
That's all right, Sergeant. So they clearly came through here, probably on both the way in and, well, they definitely came on the way out because the symbol had been disturbed. They probably came through this way as well. So I imagine this room would have a more clear path, unobserved, to outside of the... how close to the nearest entrance to the campus are we from this room?
I mean, you're technically on the campus right now.
But what I mean is to get from the edge of the campus or to get from off campus to here.
Close, very close. Okay. The sports ball area is right at the edge of the campus so that people who come to watch don't have to go through all the weird wizard stuff. They just come and watch the game.
Okay. I mean, is the campus bounded by a wall or something, or is it really just open area?
No, it's generally just warning signs indicating, you're at your own risk. Magic is afoot here. Young practitioners in training. Some sort of law code cited that you are at your own peril while here.
Caution: unexploded fireballs.
Listen, the people who are exploding fireballs have already graduated from this college. That's a 2nd level spell. That's for competent wizards.
Okay. So, I mean, I will see if there's any... I mean, it's not my specialty, but any sort of trail that's obvious. I don't know whether they got blood on themselves without doing this.
Survival check.
Yep. You're making me roll all these skills I don't have. What a horrible GM.
You were the one that chose the investigatory path.
Hey, see?
Horrible GM. 16. What are you worried about? You're out here rolling fine. Jesus. Horrible GM. Yeah. Yeah. As you kneel down, you recognize some of the boot prints here as heading in a particular direction. And these are definitely guardsmen boots. They're just like Farless's.
I'll call this Sergeant. Look, the prints here. These are... So when you say that Farless, is it the same sort of boots that these men would have worn, the dead men as well? Okay.
Yeah. So those boots go to and from this door. So Farless is just yep, standard issue for guardsmen. Looks like we've got quite a mystery on our hands. And, I think we should follow it, unless you have further questions or things to do in the town.
No, we should go this way.
All right. As you follow it, it starts to lead you north past Field Hospital Hesper, out literally outside the castle line. So if I've recalled you Stormwall correctly, Stormwall is numerous small castles that come together around residential areas and buildings. And outside of Stormwall proper, there are several noble armies that have, come back from the Drought War, come back from the Carcassian front, and are still waiting to dismiss all their members. And he points you towards the Aegeus army, and he says, Look, things are gonna get a little cloudy from here. Lots of boots, but I'm pretty sure our trail is leading over there.
Okay. What do we know about that group?
Aegeus, roll a history check real quick.
Okay. I mean, I'm also asking him, so if he knows too, that'll help. But
Sure,
I mean, if I ask me. All right. Ta-da! Oh.
Was this supposed to do that?
Yeah, I set that up.
Let me ask you a question before I tell you what you get on the 20. Has Zintrana been in contact with any other agents of the Dawn Agreement? In this case specifically, have you talked to Rorvin?
So I was going to ask this question because I saw this in Spoon's game about his ability to call on other people. So
yeah,
do we at least know who the other members of the
I would say
agreement
vaguely.
are?
Yeah.
Okay.
You know who the other coin holders are.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sort of treating this as like, one of Zintrana's first real assignments for the agreement. So probably
that's true. This is your first real assignment for the agreement.
So probably, unless there's some sort of like, get to know you meet up prior to everybody going off on their own separate ways.
Doesn't seem like it. All right. Here's the answer to your question. You know more than he. I mean, all right. So look, he knows more about the army of this people, but you know more about this particular house. Aegeus is a long noble line that is also quite broad, like lots of members. The head of Field Hospital Hesper is Lieutenant Abyssagius. You know that the Aegeus line has captains and lieutenants in the three other Oricasian Empire cities. You know that they are all, like, almost all practitioners of some kind. What else can I say about them? Their use of magic is not. It's always arcane, and it's almost always very violent. They're considered to be a sword of the Empire, not a shield, and certainly not a healing bomb.
Certainly makes sense with evocation as a school as well.
Yes. The Aegeus line also tends to not really be wizards directly, but like Eldritch Knights and such. People who pick up magic somewhat later in life and use it to enhance their abilities in close combat, rather than someone who fights from afar using magic. In Stormwall, they're pretty well thought of, and you know that Abyss is probably the highest ranking noble inside Stormwall, but this army is not led by him specifically. Like, this is probably one of his cousins or someone related to him.
I mean, how easy is it just like walk into one of these camps? Like, do they keep themselves
Farless
secret?
is a military member, and he's underneath Lieutenant Abyssagius. He's one of his sergeants, so he almost certainly can walk in here.
Should we find an officer maybe and let them know about these men and see what we can find about their last doings?
Yeah, wait here. I'll see who I can find. I gotta tell you, I'm not gonna be able to order when my superior's around, but I can request something of them.
No, exactly, yeah, and discreetly too, because it's quite possible that the killer is still in this group.
All right. At that point, he nods like carefully and goes, "I hadn't even thought of that. All right, I'll be discreet."
All right.
But just to be clear, he
He
doesn't do like weird stealth walking away. He just walks like a normal soldier away from you.
But I do want to try and keep him within view. So
Perfect.
just to make sure that he's safe, like nobody reacts to the questions he's asking, or he finds himself in harm's way.
All right, make a Constitution saving throw real quick.
Yeah, we do. Saving throw. 14. I've rolled worse. Do I get COVID?
No. You are knocked out. But before you go out, you feel something hit you in the back of the head, and you're like, "Oh, what?" And as you turn, you catch the flash of someone wearing a guardsman's cloak with a sergeant's badge on it, and you get a brief like look at their face, and you're like, that guy looks somewhat familiar, before he hits you in like the shoulder again, and you get knocked out.
Okay.
So your success
Farless,
here gave
it?
you. It's not Farless. It's definitely not Farless, but you think you recognize them from Field Hospital Hesper.
Okay.
When you wake up, you hear the rushing sound of water, and as you open your eyes, your arms and legs, each of them is like chained to a wall, and you are in front of a statue of some sort of demonic goat, and the goat is holding a symbol of Jubilix. The room is dark. There's no light in here.
So can I just ask, when you say demonic goat, do you mean like four-legged animal goat that looks evil, or like
No.
human, like humanoid
more like
with
a
goat head?
satyr. Yeah, I mean it's not specifically satyr, but it's like a demon goat. Yeah, it walks on its legs.
Okay. And there's no one else in the room?
Nope.
So is it a room? Is it a cave?
It is. It is a dark room. It's something like a 5x10 cube with a door behind the statue. The statue's basically in the middle of the room, and you're chained to the wall.
Okay. Have I still got things like my I'm wearing the same things, just without weapons?
When you look around, you appear to be in like sacrificial toga robes, the kind of things that someone would put on before they throw themselves before the gods to be sacrificed in their name.
Okay. So I'll like do these. I try and check my how I'm restrained. Can I wiggle out? Is there...
Strength saving throw, real quick.
Okay, so it's I had to get up by force, basically, is what you're saying.
Yes.
Okay.
No, you were incredible. It was almost a 19. You know that, right? I for sure was. I was like, oh, he's gonna just pop right off here. Never mind, we're gonna skip this part. For the folks at home, that night, the 19 and the 1 are right next to each other.
Yep.
You tug at the chains, and they are solidly pinning you to this wall.
Okay.
You have a taste of blood in your mouth now that you're coming to consciousness faster, and you're very thirsty. And kind of hungry, but more thirsty.
Okay. I mean, I get hungry, thirsty as well. That's a real feeling.
Yes, I know.
Yeah. I mean, there's probably not a lot. If I can't wiggle out of the chains, or try. Yeah. I'm not going to do anything like try and break my own wrist to get out. It's not that sort of skill or person. But no.
No.
Then all I can really do probably is wait for something to happen here. Then.
Sometime later, something does happen. The door gets kicked down. Farless is busting it down, and he's just like, "My lady, I'm here. Someone took you. We have to go quickly. They're coming."
Can you get me out of this? I
he's
can't break
approaching
these
you.
chains.
He's got like a python and a chisel, and he's just like, like popping the things holding the chains in place out. He tosses you a bag of spell components, and it's not your holy symbol, but it is a holy symbol. It looks like something the Church of the Flame sells, that's like baked in clay, and then a child paints it for charity, of the symbol of the sun. Is it's someone would be glad to have pinned this on their refrigerator. Okay, that's what I'll say.
Do you have those things in American schools where, like, on Mother's Day or Father's Day, the kids can like take $2 to the school and buy from like a shop of cheap things to give their parent?
No.
Oh, okay, no worries.
Incredible though. Incredible. Yeah. So I mean, you've got enough to cast here, but you don't have anything else, and you're just like, all right, I think we're in a lot of danger here.
Where are we?
You better stay behind me. Oh. We're in a dam facility. It's the one that leads, and I'm just gonna show you. It's right up here. It's like
So I pinned it
3 or
again. I just said,
right up here.
okay.
You
Cool.
see where I'm wiggling? Yeah. So it's leading from. You might have seen the mountain from the city, but it's like 3 or 4 days walk to get up here.
Okay.
I've been tracking you for days. Look, just stay behind me. I don't know who we can trust, and I don't know who we can get help from.
If I had, I assume I haven't got my coin, for example. That's with.
Well,
that's with
when you say that, your coin appears in your hand.
Okay.
It's a bound item, James.
Oh, okay. No.
Your face is on one side of this coin. It's pretty weird.
Yeah. Okay, I realize there's no pockets in this sacrificial toga.
Yeah.
just sort of hold it in my hand, like knowing that it would be possible to get some sort of reinforcement of worst case, but not looking to sort of bring other people into danger right now.
Sure. As he opens the door, we get that cinema bloom in video games. Where you move from a low light area to a high light area. Yeah. You are along the top of the dam, and you can see that there are symbols of the Aegeus family carved up here. And it's very GoldenEye. Like, as soon as you go out the dam, like 2 guards who are walking along the top are like, "She's escaped! Get her!" And that's where this particular episode ends. Just like as you're looking around, you're pretty clear that this is going to be a extended combat sequence. It's not just 2 guards rushing you in Farless.
Okay, all right. And by the way, I see that I see my gear wasn't conveniently stashed in the room I was being held in.
It was not. They will be conveniently stashed somewhere, but not in the room you're being held.
Yeah.
These guys aren't incompetent.
Yeah. I was going to say, audience, look at what Arthur does to the stuff you give to your favorite characters. Give it to you, start a session, and it's instantly taken off you.
Look, you're just progressing so fast. You're listen, I'm gonna be honest. I think you're gonna be the first one to finish their storyline easily before anybody else. Well, James, I hope you enjoyed your story here, and I hope you're enjoying I think you're on vacation, right?
No, good. I'm working.
No,
I'm
this
working
is work.
down here.
Oh, this is work. Yeah. This is work. All right. Yeah. Well, I hope you're enjoying your work.
It's interesting traveling yesterday. Like I left home at 5 a.m. I thought I'll get breakfast at the airport. When I got to the airport, nothing is open. None of the shops or eateries are open. So it was weird. The airport was surreal. Just all it was doing was transferring passengers between places, but the plane was like filled completely. So much for social distancing.
Yeah, well, who even knows what things are anymore? You got any projects you're pursuing online that people can follow right now? I notice you're still doing Car Mechanic Simulator from time to time.
Yeah, but I haven't been recording it though. I've done anything with the new 2021. So my next thing online wise is I'm this close to finishing the Space Wolf project I put together. So I'll be doing an update video on that shortly with all the finalized models, and I'll probably also put like a vote on there to like what I should work on next. And now that I can see people again, the lockdowns are over, I can try and organize a game with it too. So that's probably the next thing to go on my channel. Other than that, just what I do with you with Rogue Trader and Dawn Agreement. That's the best place to track me down. So I think I was saying the other day that a few of the games that I'm waiting for in this sort of AAA season are coming out this week. So I'll probably become a social pariah while I go and finish the new Call of Duty campaign.
Wow, Call of Duty. Well, all right. I got nothing else to mention, so since I'm old, I'm going to go take a nap now. Friends at home, have a good time zone.